Serotonin, dopamine sounds to be familiar names to us. We use it a lot talking about happiness, correlating them with good mood and feeling satisfaction. But have you ever imagined that deficiency in these neurotransmitters can lead into neurodevelopmental disorder? Have you ever imagined that the deficiency in these neurotransmitters will not just end on being diagnosed with anxiety disorder, depression, mood disorder? It also can lead to the neurodevelopmental disorder, ADHD, attention deficiency hyperactivity disorder. And I am Sharina Sharif, psychologist. So, how this happened? Let me tell you. If now we have a nerve cell and you have another nerve cell, if a nerve cell is being stimulated, so it carries a chemical message which needed to be transmitted to the other nerve cell. So how this will happen, how this will take place, it takes place by the neurotransmitters which carry the messages from one nerve cell to the other nerve cell. One of these neurotransmitters are the dopamine, serotonin, and the norepinephrine. So, when it comes to the dopamine is correlated with cognition, with the motor activity regulation, and the limbic function regulation. Also, when it comes to serotonin, it's correlated with the emotion, with the good mood, and it affects also the activity of the dopamine. When it comes to norepinephrine, it's correlated with the working memory and being able to remember and record the memories. Also correlated with the inhibitory control. So, how this deficiency can lead to ADHD? Let me tell you the symptoms so it's easy to comprehend how this happened. When it comes to the hyperactivity symptoms, they are that this kid has trouble in being calmed down, so when he is on his seat, he leaves his seat while it is expected to be sitting in his place. It's also that this kid sounds to be on the drive, or is always turned on. He's as if he's driven by a motor, being like overwhelmed with energy. He runs and climbs in inappropriate situations. For example, if you are visiting your relatives and it's the first time for him to go to this place, he acts as running and climbing as if he knows this place very well, while he doesn't know. Maybe he runs and climbs in the streets, which is not appropriate situation at all. And he talks too much. Also, and this guy has really problem in controlling the impulsivity, which is very obvious that he has trouble waiting one's turn. He has trouble in waiting till the question ends to answer, so he blurts out the answers before the questions have been finished. Also, he or she puts into the others conversations and games. And when it comes to the inattentive symptoms, we face that this kid is suffering from trouble in gathering his attention while being or carrying out the task or the chores. Always make careless mistakes because not paying enough attention to the details, fail to carry out the school chores not because of a personal deficient disorder, or it's not out of being stubborn, not also out of difficulty in comprehending what's the task about, what is this about. It's just because he has trouble in gathering the attention. He always seems to avoid or dislike the issues or the course that needed a long period of time of mental activity. Seems to being forgetful about the daily activities. He also forget the initial tools needed for the daily activities, like maybe he forgot his pens in the school, something like that. And it also sounds that he has trouble in paying attention to the details, so to carry out the task or the chores he is asked or she is asked to carry out. When it comes to the DSM, the 5th edition, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual 5th edition, by the way, this book is reviewed by the American Psychiatric Association, used for diagnosing the different types of mental illness. So we need 6 or more symptoms of the hyperactivity and impulsivity, 6 or more symptoms of the inattentive symptoms, and it must be observed in 2 different environments, because maybe when it comes to home, some ladies, they don't know how to deal with their kids, how to gather their attention, how to let them pay attention to what she's saying or what she's doing. But also this is happening in the schools, it's happening in a different environment. This is not correlated with that person who doesn't know how to gather the child's attention. And it also must be last for at least 6 months, and it's really impacting the child, and it causes really impairment in his development, causes really obstacle for him or her. But also, this kid is not suffering from ADHD and that's it. Actually, it was clear that about 40% or more being also diagnosed with a conduct disorder, 35% or more being diagnosed with a personal deficient disorder, 25% or more being also diagnosed with an anxiety disorder, 25% or more being diagnosed with depressive disorder, up to 20% being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And I'm going to make it clear for you the most 2 common associated disorders. They are the personal deficient and the conduct disorder. The personal deficient disorder, he seems to be so stubborn, it doesn't follow any instructions, doesn't follow the rules. He's always trying to act according to what he's thinking, what he wants to do, just it, and it doesn't follow any instructions. It's so hard for him to follow the instructions. When it comes to conduct disorder, this child frequently lie, bully others, and he is so violent and so aggressive with the other people. He always violates their rights. So it sounds to be like a moral violation, while it is disorder associated with the ADHD, because there is a deficiency in the prefrontal cortex, and this deficiency with the prefrontal cortex with the neurotransmitters, it affects the inhibitory control, affects the mood, and affects the behavior consequently. So this is the result of this. It's not moral relation, it's not being rude, it's not about being being stupid. It's just about that deficiency in a neurotransmitter which affects attention, affects the activity, and affects the behavior, by the way. So I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for all your support, your love. It means a lot for me. I love you, and see you next video.